Hey guys, what's up? Lewin here at GarageBand and Beyond. Welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about acoustic treatment and soundproofing ideas for your home recording studio. I got a lot of emails sent to me through that original How to Build a Home Recording Studio video of mine, and a lot of people comment on the amount of reverb that's still in my studio, even though I have all this acoustic padding on the wall. And I always, tell them, I was recording on a, little handheld camcorder at that time when I was making my videos and stuff. So I was using the microphone on that, and it was sort of like in the doorway portal area. It's just not a great place to put a microphone, really. But at the time, that's what I was doing. But there's still lots of reverb in my room. And so I explain the camera thing, and then I also say, I really actually like that sound. I don't want to deaden the sound of my room. Now, every room has a bunch of its own natural reverb, and these home recording studio kits, things like the Ruminator kit from Auralex, for example, very good little package. I've owned one in my old studio. I had one and I totally loved it. But all they're really designed to do is sort of tame and, shape the tone of the room, but really just to tame the natural reverb. So when you are recording, you don't sort of get overwhelmed with, excessive high end or excessive lows or all sorts of other things that can happen. So it's really just to sort of take that room sound and tame it. That's the best word I can think for that. I have plenty of recordings on YouTube if you're curious to hear what I've done with these rooms of mine. And I primarily use this one room. And then like when I'm recording drums for Sunshine Superman or something, I always put Melinda over there in my bedroom, literally. And in there I have like hardwood floors, but I have a carpet under her. And then there's, usually curtains on the windows around her. But that's it as far as like absorption material. Granted, there's a bed, but the room's pretty big and it's on the other side of the room. So it's probably not doing a whole lot of absorption or noticeable absorption on the recording. You would never notice it. But so that room is very live sounding and I love that sound. I don't like a deadened room. In fact, if you're watching like the latest Pomplamoose videos, for example, they are adding reflective surfaces to their studio. That new backdrop of corrugated steel and wood is to add some liveness to their room. Having spoken with Jack about it, he was saying like the floor was carpeted and stuff. And so it was just sort of dead and boxy sounding. So they were really trying to add some high end to that room and brighten it up for their recording process, and it totally worked, So keep that in mind when you're thinking about these pads for your walls. This isn't me trying to soundproof my room by any means. These are, like I keep saying, only to tame the reverb in my room. So check out something like the Auralex Ruminator kit, that's what it's called. And, if you're curious about that, go to auralex.com. I'm sure they have something on there to look at. Now, the other thing that I hear a lot about is soundproofing. Now, on a budget in a home recording studio to effectively soundproof is going to be pretty difficult. In a real professional recording studio, they rip the walls open and they put in like at least like an additional foot of insulation, and then they reseal it with extra everything. All the doors are, triple, quadruple pane glass and, huge thick doors with foam and all this stuff. That's soundproofing. But if you're like me, I'm in an apartment building. I can't really do that in my house, So here's a tip for you. Let your neighbors know that, you're a musician and you record and stuff. And so if you're going to be making a lot of noise, try to do it during reasonable hours of the day. But also give your neighbors your phone number. This is what I've done, and it's worked perfectly. And actually, no one's ever called, but I've given them my number, and I've said, if I'm ever making too much noise, please send me a text message, and I'll immediately shut up. But, besides that, I keep it loud in reasonable times of the week or reasonable times of the day, and nobody really seems to care. One thing I do always recommend is to decrease the amount of sound transference through my apartment here. I make sure that all the doors are closed, bathroom doors, hallway doors, every single door in my place is closed when I'm recording, because that does help, block some of the sound from bleeding throughout the entire apartment and then going downstairs or wherever it may go. So communicate with your neighbors, but soundproofing, there's not a whole lot you can do without spending a lot of money. Mattresses, yes, they help. but they're big and they're cumbersome to deal with and all that kind of stuff. And they typically, I don't really like the sound of recording around a mattress. It's much too dead for my sound. So, soundproofing, just sort of, I don't know, good luck. I don't really have any great tips on how to soundproof a studio. Just be respectful of the people that do live around you. That's probably your best bet. If you're worried about making, enemies downstairs or whatever, just communicate with them beforehand and, let them know. So, the last thing I wanted to talk about, when I'm talking about, a room, now there is lots of stuff that you can buy that's not the Auralex Ruminator kit. And really anything that, cancels any parallel surfaces is going to at least start putting you in the right direction. Like I have a couple of like sort of sliding open closet doors right over there. And I put curtains on them and it totally did what I wanted it to do. It canceled a little bit of the reflectiveness of those surfaces and, solved my problem that I felt I had coming from that part of my studio. The other thing is that how to build a vocal booth for beginners. That blue baffle that you see a lot in my videos, that thing is a great thing to use. Not so much for soundproofing. It does work if you put it right in front of the door. It will definitely block a bunch of the sound, but it's not soundproof by any sense. So that, simple things can help tune your room and tame your room. Blankets, curtains, pillows, all sorts of things that you can think of. And it's important to learn how to listen to your room. You always see like audio engineers going around and clapping here and clapping there and all this kind of stuff. That's what you do. You go around and you listen to the room and you're like, oh, maybe there's a little bit too much reverb coming over from here. So you figure out some inexpensive way to tame that if it's, undesirable. So don't feel like you got to go out and spend a ton of money. I mean, I found my pads on Craigslist for like $50. I got all this stuff and it really does exactly what I wanted to do. And, if you're curious to hear the recordings that I've done in my bedroom and this room, I'm going to put a bunch of links down below and, Sunshine Superman and Mark Silver and the Stone Throwers, my own personal music. I recorded all in these rooms with very little acoustic treatment. So if you like the way those recordings sound, then you will then understand what I've been yakking on about here for about 7 minutes. So that's about it. That's it, you guys. I think that's all I have to say. I think that's it. Yes, that feels about right. So please subscribe to my channel as always. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but check that out. Oh, IK Multimedia sent me the Stealth pedal. So I'm very excited about that. And I got a video review of the IK Multimedia Stealth pedal coming out as soon as I, figure out how to use the damn thing. So I'll talk to you guys very soon. Have a good day.